Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rapid Chess here, and today I spent some time studying Dragon Sicilian with white. I had a lot of problems with it, fighting against it with white, and there is a particular trap I fell into many times, which I'm gonna show you for black, because I know that many of you play Sicilian, and I learned it myself the hard way, because it's not easy to learn openings. Yeah, when you going a little bit into it, it starts to be complicated. I'm just checking my weak lines, which I'm bad at, but I will look at it. I'm studying this Kaufman book, White by Anand. I recommend it. It's a really good book, and it's complete, and he gave like I don't know, outstanding work. I think it's one of the best books for openings, maybe the best one there is. If you're playing e4, if you're an e4 player, you can find a lot of explanations, because something you just cannot learn with chess base, because you need to, have some advice with words. Yeah, and the book has a lot of explanations, but still it's very made as a resource. Yeah, where you have you can just quickly check what you are playing and prepare against a certain opponent. Alright, so let's start the game. E4, c5, knight f3, and in this position, in order to play dragon, you have two options: to play d6 and knight to c6. So I learned that if you play in d6, d4 takes, and knight f6, so you forcing white to play knight to c3. Yeah, there is no other move in this position for white to control, otherwise it's a big concession. But if you're playing knight to c6 first move, yeah, which is totally fine, it's a good move, then in this position you're playing g6, and unfortunately white has this c4, which is the best move, the Marozzi bind. It's not the win for white, definitely it's not, and but it's a completely different structure. Yeah, and if you want to play it more sharp, you have to play d6. But I'm not saying sharp. It's like a bit different game. So you playing d6 and you having more standard dragon. But in this case, a lot of players will play c4. The variation I'm going to show you is considering only with you have to start with knight to c6. So g6, knight c3, bishop g7. Many players, of course, will play knight to c3, which is a good move. Bishop a3, knight to f6. In this position, there is move f3 and there is move bishop to c4. Now, if you're playing this f3 move, black still cannot play d5 because of the spin bishop to b5. Yeah, so white castles, and in this position there are two moves, and I'm making mistake with the bishop to c3. If queen to d2, then it's an actual mistake. After d5, black is better. Yeah, so that is why white is forced to play bishop to c4 in order to take under control this this square on d5, and that is why we start with knight to c6 first, because if we play d6, our pawn would be on d6, and our knight won't be developed. And if you play d6, then you won't be able to play d5, just because it's too slow for an opening. So in this position, I played bishop to c4, and very unpleasant move, bishop to b6. So this is where I made a lot of losses, yeah, on the internet, because I knew that this is a good move. I knew that my pawn is attacked, and there is some tactic, yeah, which I barely don't know. I'm just saying it like white player. So in this position, if I tried a couple of moves. I tried this move, which loses immediately. Yeah, it's like a discovery on the queen, but after queen takes b2, it's lost. Yeah, so many players will just try to, attack you with this discovery. If you take, then it's again lost after queen e3 and check, and you take the piece. But the main move here is, of course, bishop to b3, like protecting the pawn and not giving up. But the problem is that this move, this is let's call it a trap. It's not a trap because of this knight to d5, but queen a5, c3, and let's say knight to c5. I think black is better. Yeah, you can see that only knight to c6, and still black is minus. Like the position is equal. Yeah, but I'm just saying that black castled, black has developed a lot of pieces, and it's extremely hard to play with white. If you have in this fight in the center when you are castled and your opponent hasn't castled, so most likely that he will lose something. So it's kind of a win. It's not technically a winning position, yeah, but when your opponent, when you taken this pawn, yeah, your opponent will think that he's blunder, and like the most natural is to take back this knight. He will think that he has blunder, but he has only one move, bishop to knight to d5. So okay, let's take the knight, and this is winning. Yeah, bishop takes d4, and I fell for it. I'm 2400 on Lichess, and I fell for it 4 out of 4. Yeah, so takes, and look at it. Black has castle, black has better development, and black has extra pawn. It's totally winning. And there is no attack. Yeah, absolutely. So white will take, and play this like ridiculous endgame where you can resign even on like 1 minute. All right, so you play in Dragon. Let's quickly revise. G6, knight c3. White hasn't played Marozzi, so you're developing. Knight f6, bishop to c4. No. So f3 first. Castles, bishop c4, and queen to b6. Yeah. So you aim in this bishop on e3, and you aim in this pawn on b2. So bishop b3 is the most natural answer, and knight to e4, forcing white to play the only move, knight to d5. But I guarantee you that the opponent you will play, he will not play like this. So he will be just a pawn up. All right, thank you very much. Leave your comments, and thank you, and see you next time.